I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City.
On September 2, 2025, President Trump announced that U.S. Space Command headquarters will be moved from Colorado Springs, Colorado, to Huntsville, Alabama, reversing a 2023 decision by President Biden to house the command permanently in Colorado.
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama.
In January 2021, then President Trump had announced that Huntsville, Alabama would become the future home of the U.S. Space Command, following a 2-year study that considered several locations in the United States, including the Space Command's interim headquarters in Colorado Springs. In 2023, Biden reversed this decision and chose to house the command permanently in Colorado Springs.
During that time, the DoD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say Spacecom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens.
Various studies have favored either Huntsville or Colorado Springs, and Democrats and Republicans accuse each other of politicizing the decision based on partisan political preferences.
We love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular, so congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations.
President Trump referred to Colorado's widespread use of mail-in ballots in elections when announcing the move to Huntsville, Alabama.
The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting, so they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also.
Democrats and Colorado lawmakers warned that Trump's decision undermines security and wastes taxpayer money. However, Alabama lawmakers and Republican critics argue that Biden's 2023 decision overrode the recommendations of the U.S. Space Force and U.S. Air Force.
We created, and I created, a thing called Space Force, so important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia, and now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablished Spacecom with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be.
Space Command was founded in 1985 during the Cold War, dissolved in 2002, and reestablished in 2019 under Trump as part of his decision to establish the U.S. Space Force.
Today also marks another landmark achievement as we officially inaugurate the newest branch of our military. This is a very big and important moment. It's called the Space Force.
Its mission is to plan, execute, and integrate military space power into multi-domain global operations in order to deter aggression, defend national interests, and when necessary, defeat threats.
U.S. Space Command, our guiding principle is clear. To secure peace, we must be well prepared for conflict in space, and if deterrence fails, we will fight and win.
Space has become the backbone of modern warfare. From GPS and communications to missile tracking, Space Command is now preparing for future challenges, countering Russia and China, protecting satellites from cyber attacks, and exploring space-based missile defense.
These novel and unprecedented developments include China's robust counter-space weapons and space-enabled kill chains, Russia's reported pursuit of an on-orbit nuclear anti-satellite weapon, and wide-ranging ballistic, cruise, and hypersonic missile threats. Despite the growing threats, the United States maintains advantages in space thanks to the unified mission focus of our superb joint warfighters, our unmatched commercial space sector, and our expansive and more empowered alliances and partnerships. Foremost advantage, and the cornerstone of U.S. Space Command, are our officer, enlisted, and civilian personnel. No other nation can match our team's understanding of the complexities of space and the requirements to effectively operate in the most challenging area of responsibility. Our military has the best trained, most capable space warfighting force in the world, and they stand dedicated to fight for America.
The relocation is expected to cost between $1 and $2 billion.
You can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force, and I think an equally visionary move to make sure that Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama.